I am Raj from Pragyaan Tuition Centre. Welcome you all and present to you a newly made video lecture series based on Cambridge University Press. And students, we are basically focusing here on computer science domain and talking permanently the schools, some of the schools based upon the CBSE prominently and based on CAIE and IGCSE board, where CAIE stands for Cambridge Assessment International Education, Cambridge, UK. So there are some of the schools which are following this board and their curriculum. So CAIE IGCSE board curriculum, and some of the schools, although they are CBSE board, but they are also following this our Cambridge University Press curriculum for the computer science subject, such that some of the schools are like DPS and GD Goenka and all. So students, basically we are talking here about the subject computer science. So here the book which is being followed is, the name of the book is ClickStart. Again, the name of the book is ClickStart, and here we have the ebook of ClickStart, and that ebook is also basically the publisher of that book is the Cambridge University Press only, and the edition is the third edition, and we are following that only. And here is the chapter number 1, where we will focusing about early calculating devices. And this students, this is our class 6 lecture number 2, and the lecture numbers will be related with the class 6. Means it's not like that if chapter 1 is finished, then again from lecture number 1 I will be calculating. No, means for class 6 means each and every chapter would be covered in the class 6, and so it would be the lecture number is started, so it will be going on like lecture number 2, 5, 10, 15, 20 and so on, until unless we have completed all the syllabus of class 6. So the lecture number would be dedicated along with the class. Okay, it is not related with the chapters. We will not end our lecture if the chapter is finished. Okay, after lecture number would be in the continue process only, in the continue mode only. Chapter will end but lecture will not end. Okay, lecture will end only when the class will be over, means the whole syllabus of class 6 will be over. Okay students, so this is our class 6 lecture number 2. In the class 6 lecture number 1, we have covered the introductory part of this chapter number 1, with the chapter which was Know Your Computer. But in this class 6 lecture number 2, although it is chapter number 1 only, obviously, and here we will be dealing about the early calculating devices, which are like Abacus, NapierBone Pascaline difference engine and Analytical engine. Okay students, so now let's move forward and understand some of these basic early calculating devices. So here is our e-book. Again, I would be showing you from start only. See, this is the Cambridge University Press ClickStart International Edition Learners Book 6 of 3rd edition, and here is the ebook of that only. And so we have covered here, and see, you can see the publisher Cambridge University Press at 3rd edition 2020. ISBN number is also given, and now we would be covering. Okay, here are the chapters contents, and we are covering right now Know Your Computer chapter number 1. Okay, so, and this is the lecture number 2. In the lecture number 1 we have covered about the introductory part, but here in the lecture number 2 I will be covering about the early calculating devices. So what are the early calculating devices? In the earlier times, to calculate to numerically calculate the things, how the objects are there, how many things are there, how many objects are there, we were using what, some of the devices which were prior to the development of computers. Means before the development of computers, there were some of the devices which were used to calculate the things or objects. So we are discussing about those only. You can see the first of the device is Abacus. Okay, the name of this device is Abacus. Okay, the first device is what? Abacus. So here, if we would be talking about Abacus, so what is that? It is one of the first calculating device. Okay, first used prior to the first calculating device, which was developed in where? In which country? China. In China, we have the first calculating device was developed, whose name was Abacus. Abacus. Abacus is the name of the first calculating machine which was developed in China. Okay, you know China is a very much we can say populated country earlier, but right now India was on the second rank, but right now India has beaten China in the population. So India is right now the most populated country, and so at that time and in those earlier times, the China was that country only who had developed the first calculating machine whose name was Abacus. So what was the use of that particular device whose name was Abacus? It was used to count numbers. So suppose these are like balls and all. If I want to calculate these balls, this white ball, see this last row. So there are some of the green balls and some of the white balls. If I want, then I would touch this ball, first white ball, and drag till this side to right side, left side, right side. And then again I would drag this ball, second ball, drag right side. It means 1 and then 2, means 2 balls are there. Okay, again third ball, so now 3 balls are there, 4 and 4 ball, then 5, then fifth ball, and 5. It means right now at right side I have 5 white balls, and now here at left side I am left with, and we can say 1 2 3 4 5, or we can say again we can use the same thing, and we can hold that particular ball and then drag to the right side, and then again it would be like 1 2 3 4 5. So 5 green balls and 5 white balls are there. Okay students, so these were the thing. Okay, now if I would be talking about the next device, it is Napier's bone. Okay, Napier's. So what is this Napier bone? The Napier bones was developed by Sir John Napier. The name of the developer was Sir John Napier, who developed Napier's bone. When? In 1617. So now this is Napier's bone. This figure shows us the Napier's bone, and this is also one of the earlier calculating device which was used to calculate the things or objects. And this device was used to perform what? Calculations, and even not only to count the things. It was also involving addition, subtraction. We can, by using this Napier's bone, we can do addition, we can do subtraction, we can do multiplication, even division also. This Napier bone was one step ahead from the Abacus. Why? Because these Napier's bones was not limited only just to count the things or numbers or objects, although it was doing some of the operations, okay, such that addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. And so the name Napier bone, the device name Napier bone calculating device, was named on the name of the developer, the scientist Sir John Napier. Okay, and also it is said that it was named, the name of this device Napier bone means, and there's another story of the name of this particular calculating device. How we have got this name is not only limited to the name of the developer, but one more story is that the name was because the numbers were carved on bones or strips of wood. Okay, why? It means, why we are saying that the Napier bone? Why Napier bone? Why we can say some another things, another animal's bone. Okay, because the numbers were carved on bones. Okay, it was not like anything else, but it was, we can say, it was like a wood or bones. And although we can say, why would be harming any animal only or any human, to said that John Napier has developed it, and so the surname Napier, so Napier bones. It was, the numbers were carved on the bones, or it was like strips of wood. Means it was such that you can say it was like bone, or it was a strip of wood, है ना? How the wooden scale is there, such that like that only. Okay, so it was like a strip of wood or a bony structure. On that only we have printed numbers and all. Okay, so the name was given Napier's bone. Now the next is Pascaline. What is this? Now this is Pascaline. What is Pascaline? You might heard about Pascaline. Yeah, Pascaline is also one of the we can say calculating device, and this is the we can say first mechanical calculating device. Okay, this is the Pascaline, and this is one of the first mechanical calculator, although it comes under the heading early calculating device. Means it also used to calculate, but it is also one of its kind of mechanical calculators. Okay, it also comes under the category of calculator. And which type of calculator? Mechanical calculator. It means although it is a calculating device, है ना, it is a calculating device, although because it is used to calculate the things and objects, but also at the same time it is also a calculator. And which type of calculator? Mechanical calculator, and also first of its kind, and was invented by Blaise Pascal and so called Pascaline. Okay, in which year? In 1642. And also it could perform some of the operations like addition, subtraction, and so it become popular. And also, so we can say Pascaline is also one step ahead than Napier's bone. How? Although it is used to calculate and was doing calculations and counting the things, and also other than addition, subtraction and all, it was one of its kind of calculators, that too of mechanical type. So first mechanical calculator. So Pascaline, although comes under the heading of calculating device, but also it was a mechanical calculator. The first mechanical calculator was developed in 1642. Now we will be moving ahead, and this is the diagram of Pascaline diagram. And now we would be moving on the difference engine. Okay, difference engine. This is our difference engine. Here, next topic. The difference engine was designed by Charles Babbage in year 1822. In 1822, Charles Babbage, who is known as the father of computer, Charles Babbage only designed one of the engine known as difference engine in the year 1822. So the difference engine is also one of the early calculating devices which was developed by Charles Babbage in the year 1822, known as difference engine. And what was the main aim of developing that particular engine, and why we are saying engine, although it is a device, it is a calculating device. So it was an early digital device which could perform mathematical and astronomical calculations also. Okay, means it was not a normal, it is also 10 steps ahead than other calculating devices which we have covered right now. That it is also used to do calculations of astronomical type, in astronomy domain. Means in the numerology we can say like the distance of the sun, on the moon, in the universe. Okay, what are the distances, what are the time, how much time it will take to revolve, rotate. Okay, those kind of things in astronomy. Okay, neurology. So in astronomical calculations, so the difference engine it comes under the main topic of or one of the kind of calculating device, early calculating devices. It also performed mathematical calculations. Along with that, it is also performing astronomical calculations, and again it is also capable of storing data. It is also storing data along with that, along with calculations, calculating the things, mathematical calculations, operations, and astronomical calculations. Again, it has one more feature of this particular calculating device, which is whose name is difference engine. It is also capable of storing data, but temporarily. Like clipboard we have. Whenever we used to send messages, we used to copy those message, and again from one place and again to where we want to send a message, we are pasting. So the time period between the copying and pasting, the message was temporarily saved. So that type of saving means temporarily saving or storing the data. This difference engine was capable of that also, and also it was printing the output. See how much ahead this particular calculating machine is in comparison to those which we have discussed right now, like Abacus, NapierBone Pascaline. Okay, so this difference engine is much more advanced. Now last is the analytical engine. Okay, and the analytical engine is another device which comes under the early calculating devices, and the last of its kind of calculating devices, which was designed again by the Charles Babbage only, means again by the father of computer, Charles Babbage, the same person, the same scientist, Charles Babbage. Charles Babbage, it means, has invented, or we can say developed or designed, two types of early calculating devices, and both the devices are named as an engine. One is difference engine and one is analytical engine, and this difference engine we have discussed, and right now we are discussing analytical engine. So the analytical engine was designed by Charles Babbage in which year? In 1837. Means after developing difference engine, Charles Babbage first developed difference engine DE in 1822. Later on, in 1837, he developed, first of all, designed what? Another calculating device whose name was analytical engine in 1837. Which engine? Analytical engine, developed by the same person, Charles Babbage. And this particular device, this particular calculating device was, we can say, first mechanical general purpose computer. This particular device is not only limited to a type of general calculating device or general computing thing like mathematical calculations or like storing data temporarily or printing the output or astronomical calculations. It is a kind of computer. But which type of computer? Which category of computer? General purpose. Okay, general purpose computer, and first of its kind, first mechanical general purpose computer. Okay, first mechanical general purpose computer. So our analytical engine, we can say it is a kind of, we can say, a calculating device also, and a computer which was general purpose computer and mechanical general purpose, first of its kind, developed by Charles Babbage only, who was known as the father of computer in the year 1937. And what was specific about this particular analytical engine? This is last from the list of the calculating devices, and also very much important because Charles Babbage has developed it, and the last calculating device, and also it is a computer, general purpose computer, first mechanical general purpose computer. So what thing is, what technique or what concept is used behind this, so that this computer has made? So this is following which type of concept? This particular thing is following a typical IPO, cycle. What is an IPO cycle? IPO means I means input, P means processing, and O means output. In this particular this particular analytical engine, okay, this particular analytical engine, or we can say this particular our calculating device, or this particular mechanical general purpose computer is following what thing, what algorithm? It is using a typical IPO cycle, not a water cycle. It is an IPO cycle. It's input processing. You have given input, okay, and the computer. So whenever we are giving an input to a particular machine, so it processes it and then gives an output. Suppose I have given a particular machine an input that this is an input 2, which is saved in 2, which is saved in A. Okay, I have given input 2. Okay, then I want the square of this particular number which I have inputted. So the square would be to the 2 square, but the square of 2 is 2 into 2, that is 4. And this is the processing part. Input is given, input part 2 I have given, processing part it has squared the number 2 into 2, 4, and then it has given us the output as 4. So this is the 4 and such like this, and again, okay, and this is the process, this is a cycle. So I input, output, okay, and in between this is the process. So input and process and output. So this typical cycle is followed by this particular computer, which is general purpose computer, first mechanical general purpose computer, which is named as Analytical Engine, developed by Charles Babbage in 1837. So this is following at the IPO cycle, and this also is being used in the modern time and the present computers. And this particular machine, analytical engine, okay, or we can say machine or device, or we can say computer, took input, okay, how? Using a reader. And what is a reader? An input device. So right now we are giving A is equal to 2. I am giving the input 2. How? By the help of keyboard. So it is an input device. And so, and the input machine, input taking input using a reader, and that reader was made up of mill, okay, and the calculating unit. And where is the calculation done? Where is the processing is done? Inside the CPU, central processing unit. And so it is also currently being done in the present time also in the CPU. Okay students, this was only in this present lecture. So there were, we can say, we have 5 early calculating devices: Abacus, NapierBone Pascaline, difference engine, analytical engine, and till here only we will cover in this particular lecture. Okay, so now from here onwards we will be covering. Okay, so thank you class.